Okay, so we will be doing fractions today. And this live stream is assuming some knowledge of fractions. So we will be doing fractions today. So let's start with adding and subtracting fractions. That's what I'll be doing today. And again, we're assuming some knowledge of fractions, so I'm not going to really start with what a fraction is. I'm going to assume you know what a fraction is for the purpose of this video. And we'll just go into how to add and subtract them today. So let's start with like denominators. So the number on the top is called the numerator. The number on the top is called the numerator. And the number on the bottom is called the denominator. I'll be saying those words frequently, so I just want to make sure that you understand them. And so these are this is a problem of like denominators because the denominators in this case are the same. They're both the same. They're both 3. So when it's like denominators, we keep the denominator the same. We don't need to change anything. So these problems are really easy when it comes to the denominator. The denominator of the answer will also be 3. And then all we have to do is add the numerators. So we would add the 1 and the 2 together, and we would get 3 for the numerator. And so then we can simplify that 3 over 3. That fraction sign is also, you can think of it as a division sign. So it's 3 divided by 3, which is just 1. So let me see, let's do another one with like denominators, just to make sure that we understand the easy one before we go to the harder one. Looking at number 6 next. Think about what the denominator will be. It should be 5. And then we should add the numerators. So we have 3 plus 1, and that's 4. So the answer to this is 4 over 5. Good. Then let's look at another one. Now we'll do unlike denominators. So let's look to number 2 now. So when you have a case of unlike denominators, like you have in 2, you look to the denominators and you think, what is the lowest common multiple? Or in this case, it's called the lowest common denominator between them. So what is the smallest number that 2 and 3 can both go into? So if you're thinking about like multiples of 3, if you start to make yourself a list here, multiples of 3, you would start with 3, then you have 6, then you have 9, then you have 12, and so on. You're just counting by 3s. And if you were to make a list of the multiples of 2, you would count by 2s. So you would have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. So you're looking for one where they have in common, the lowest one they have in common. And that in this case would be the 6. So the 6 is the LCD. Okay, so we've found the LCD. So what do we do next? We know that's going to be the denominator we use. Now we need to rewrite both fractions. So I'll keep a list of steps we're using in the right corner here. So the first step was to find the LCD. The next step is to rewrite the fractions, because we need to have the fractions with the LCD. So we'll take 1/2 And we'll set it equal to some fraction with a denominator of 6. And then how do we get the numerator? Well, we know that to get 6, we multiply 2 by 3. So we would also multiply 1 by 3, and that would give us 3 over 6. So 1/2 equals 3 over 6. And we do the same with the 1/3. We set it equal to some fraction over 6. And we say, what do we multiply 3 by to get 6? We multiply it by 2. So then we would also multiply the 1 on top by 2. That gives us 2 over 6. So then we add the rewritten fractions. Let me write that there. Or in the case of subtraction, you subtract the rewritten fractions. So it's add or subtract the rewritten fractions. So we have 3 over 6 plus 2 over 6. That's equivalent to the 1/2 plus 1/3 we had as the original problem. So 3 over 6 plus 2 over 6. You should notice now that that looks like problems 1 and 6. The denominator is the same. So we keep the denominator 6 in our answer, and we add the numerators. 3 plus 2 is 5. Our answer is 5 over 6. So it's a little more intensive than problems 1 and 6 because we had to find the LCD and we had to rewrite the fractions. Okay, let's try another one. So let me give myself some more space. Let's go down here to number 4. So first step again is find the LCD. We have 7 and 3 as our denominators. So let's start to make a list of the multiples of 7. So we have 7, 14, 21, 28, etc. Then the multiples of 3, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. We should see that the 21 was in both. So 21 is the lowest common denominator. LCD is 21. So we did the first step here. Second step is to rewrite the fractions. So let's go ahead and do that. 3 over 7 equals blank over 21. So what do we multiply 7 by to get 21? We multiply it by 3. So we also multiply the 3 on top by 3. And that gives us 9 over 21. Okay, let's rewrite 2/3 as well. What do we multiply the 3 by to get 21? We multiply it by 7. So we would also multiply the 2 by 7, which is 14. So now our last step is to add the rewritten fractions. So we have 9 over 21 plus 14 over 21. Good so far. And then that equals 23 over 21. Okay, so we have something here that's called an improper fraction. I'm going to write that down. So it's an improper fraction because it has the bigger number on top of a smaller number. So usually answers on a test are not written as improper fractions, they're written as mixed numbers. So we're going to convert it to a mixed number. That's a whole number, a whole number alongside a regular fraction. So to convert it to a mixed number, all we're doing is dividing. We'll do 23 divided by 21. And ideally, you'd be able to do that without writing it out, actually, but I'll write it out just so you can see it. So we're doing 23 divided by 21. 21 goes into 23 one time. We subtract 21. We get a remainder of 2. So it's 1 and 2 over 21. So that's how you're very likely to see the answer versus 23 over 21. Okay, let me see. Let's actually go down and do some subtraction. So the good news is you don't have to learn anything different. Subtraction works the same way. So it's the same steps. Find the LCD, rewrite the fractions, and then we'll subtract the rewritten fractions. Let's go ahead and do number 14. So LCD, let's write out the multiples of 5 and 3. So 5 is 5, 10, 15, 20, etc. 3 is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 15 is a match. So the LCD is 15. And then we'll rewrite each fraction. So 4 over 5 equals blank over 15. We multiply the 5 by 3. So we multiply the 4 by 3 as well. And that gives us 12 over 15. Let's do the 2/3. Okay, we have to multiply 3 by 5 to get 15, right? So we'll also multiply the 2 by 5, and that gives us 10 over 15. So now our last step is to subtract the rewritten fractions. So we had 12 over 15 minus 10 over 15. So denominator stays the same, it's 15. And we do 12 minus 10, that's 2. Our answer is 2 over 15. Okay, I'll end this live stream with one more problem. So let's go ahead and do, number 30. So we do the LCD. So let's make a list of the 11s. 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88. And then we should notice, without even making a list of the 8s, we should notice that of these, 8 only goes into 88. So the LCD is 88. And so we rewrite each fraction. 4 over 11 equals blank over 88. Multiply by 8 on the bottom. And so then we also multiply by 8 on the top. And that gives us 32 over 88. Same thing with 5 over 8. 5 over 8 equals blank over 88. So we multiply by 11 on the bottom, which means we have to multiply by 11 on the top. Gives us 55 over 88. So now let's go ahead and do this subtraction. Looks like we're going to be dealing with negative numbers in this one. So we have 32 over 88 minus 55 over 88. And it's just negative numbers because you have a smaller number minus a bigger number, right? So imagine you have $32 in your account, your bank account, and you take $55 out, you'll have a negative balance. And so our denominator is 88. And then we do 32 minus 55. You can think of that as the same as 55 minus 32. And so that'll give us a negative 23 over 88. And so This is how you do adding and subtracting fractions. So it's just these 3 steps. Remember, with adding and subtracting fractions, the denominator needs to be the same in order for you to do the addition and subtraction. With multiplication and division, that's not the case. But with addition and subtraction, that is the case. Okay. And remember also with math that practice is really key. So let's say you feel you understood everything in this video. It's not enough. You have to actually practice it and do it a lot yourself to really master it. Because it's just building the muscle memory with these math skills, particularly these like earlier on elementary math skills. Okay, so it was great doing this live stream. Bye.